Welcome back everyone to the Song of Waves and Wind, where today we need to search the beach near Dol Amroth, where we are going to find rats most likely. Yes, frothing Hashidir rat. Let's deal with the rats. And also, let's see, we need frothing Hashidir rats and scurrying rats. And here's a frothing one. Not exactly too sure of the difference between them, but they are definitely rodents of unusual size. Looks like the scurrying ones aren't aggressive, so we're just going to have to wake them up from their little slumber to deal with them. Now on top of that, we are also looking for a wave finder. And apparently, while I'm not looking for crabs, the crabs are trying to see if they can get a taste of hobbit meat. So we will just have to keep them from doing that. There we go. But we don't need to disturb the crabs too much. Right now, though, what I want to do is find... Ah, there it is. Unfortunately, I think those crabs are going to interrupt me if I try to do anything here. And of course, we've got that rodent there who also wants to keep me busy. Oh, ouch. Alright. Lacerated by the crabs. Oh. There you go. Now, where was I? Oh, it's a scurrying one, so it's not going to attack me in any case. That is, of course, unless I did something crazy like attack it. Then for some reason they take exception to that. There we go. Well, I'll assume that this is the... Really? I was just getting ready to leave this place in peace, and then you come and create troubles. An ornate waystone. Alright. Well, now that we have the waystone, we can just find more rats and get rid of them, and we could return to Dol Amroth. That's unless I decide to head off to look for those drakes first, because I'm sure those drakes aren't going to just be sitting there doing nothing, waiting for me or anything like that. I also need to find Dolver, who I believe is up in this direction somewhere, so we can find out what he needs. Abidex Watch. Well, wherever that is, it's about 120 meters away. Well, let's see if we can find him anywhere around here. Ooh. I think this is him. An injured Dolver catches your attention.
We must strive to defend our newly gained peace.
Worry not, my energies are minor. I have escaped worse places with more grievous wounds. The Corsairs captured me, but wouldn't agree on my fate. Some wanted me dead, though a few didn't seem thrilled by the prospect. Even their efforts to search for me have been half-hearted. None have ventured past the walls of their camp. I can understand their caution. The chances of them finding kindness outside of these walls would be slim. Before I report back to Gielinor, I have some ideas of how to weaken the Corsairs' hold here. I'm afraid I can't approach the camp in my physical state, but you would be enough. Right, okay, what do you need me to do?
Days of peace have come at last to Gondor.
Some of the Corsairs who have flocked to Abidex Watch seek safety rather than a cause of continued fighting. If you find any corsairs who are hesitant to draw their weapons, please convince them to find me. I promise to help them find a peace in Gondor, or a safe voyage home to Umbar. Alright, I guess I can do that.
Have you come to help? Good.
While Abadek's watch will never return to its former strength, we cannot allow the corsairs to continue like this. Destroy the barricades that they have constructed, and those crumbling ruined walls will seem a little less sturdy than they once appeared. Alright, fine. Destroy barricades. So I'm not actually told to kill any corsairs here. I'm just asked to convince some to return and to destroy the barricades. I mean, that's relatively mild, though it looks like that these guys seem to be serious. Let's go and see if they're willing to talk. I'm going to say that this is not in the definition of hesitant to draw their weapons. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. And now your turn. Well, you wanted to fight, so you gotta fight. Now, what do we got here? Well, no stable master here. So, let's deal with the barricade. These are the barricades. Well, this is going to be easy. Not even well defended. Well, oh, he didn't attack me, but this guy did, and he didn't even join him in this fight. So I'm going to assume that this person would rather not fight. So let's see what he has to say about that. Ah, thank you for this chance. Well, that didn't take much convincing. Here's another one that doesn't seem to be too keen on fighting. Let's see what he has to say. I will set upon the shores of Umbar again. Alright, well. There we go. That means some of them might be wanting to stay in Gondor. Some might be wanting to return home. Let's just hope that we don't have to be facing them again. Are those barricades? What's out in this direction that they're okay, I guess there is a... Okay, well, apparently they're very effective barricades because I can't get through there. So, let's destroy them. I see worms up ahead. Now, any more barricades or non-hostile corsairs about? How about up here? Well, hey, how'd you... Okay, fine. I got a counter plan then. How'd you like to die? Yeah, I didn't think you'd like that prospect too much, but I'll grant it anyway. Now, barricades. And another one here. Does that mean this is just an or is this the entrance to another level? Ooh, well, that takes care of the barricades. So now it's just a question of finding less than unfriendly corsairs. Which this one definitely is not one of them. Well, looks like one of the corsairs is even tending to Dolvir. I think that's a good sign.
Have you come to help?
Thank
Good.
you for helping me to convince them, Pineleaf. I hope that we can put the days of war behind us, for the sake of both of our peoples. Alright?
We must not let our vigilance lapse.
And well done with the barricades. Now we shall have an easier time chasing the corsairs out. Alright then. So we are done with Adolvir, which means now we could continue along east on this road, because I believe this is where we are going to find some drakes and some worms and some drake matrons. Anything else? I have found Ost Omendel, and I've also found some worms. Now this doesn't look like a worm that is going to technically count for the quest, but we could use to break the ice a little bit as we head on inside, where we'll find some. Actually, that looks like something that isn't a worm. It looks more like a Corsair to me. But we will make sure that we clear the area of them also. Unless, of course, they're willing to just leave camp and head on and try to see if they can make a new life or return to Umbar or something like that. A wandering rock. Okay, that's a wandering one. So obviously, if it's a wandering one, it's not settled in here. You have discovered Ost Omendal. Completed Explorer of Belfalis Renewed. Ooh. Nice to have an exploration deep complete. I think there are a few that I may have missed one or two spots. Here we go. Now. Ooh. Acid spitting whelping. Looks like they do not count as drakes. Vicious rockworm. Now this sounds like we're getting into the area where it may start counting for the quest. Yeah, we are officially in Ost Omendal now. Yeah, there we go. Last one. Oh, they're all over the place. And there is a drake. Okay, perfect. Now let's take care of the drake first. Actually, this is a drake matron. And we do need 2 of these for the drake quest. So let's add this to our total. She's not happy for some reason. I wonder why. Maybe her dinner keeps on moving around too much and sticking pointy things in her face. Now, where were we? Oh yes! Our previous task of dealing with worms. And drakelings. Well, we don't want to wait several years and wait for them to grow before dealing with them. They become much tougher then, for some reason. There you go. Hey. Anything down in this area? And I think somebody else has been killing matrons because that nest looked abandoned. Or more likely, someone dealt a blow there. Alright, here is... That's just a regular drake. There you go. So that gives us our 3rd drake. If we don't count the matron, of course. And we could deal with you. Hi! Vicious rockworm, because it can't be nice. Not at all. It seems like whoever gives them the labels, of course, maybe they're not really vicious. Maybe they're, I don't know. So this looks like it's outside of the ruin. So let's look for more inside. Ooh, another matron. Alright. We can have that. Whoops-a-daisy. Oh, okay. I got a little cinched with that one. Alright, that takes care of the matrons. So I just need one lesser drake, and more worms. Oh, I called for a lesser drake and look, well, alright. I was about to say, look what approached. I think that's a lesser, yeah, that's definitely a lesser drake. Oops. Hey, anyway up there? Anyway up there? Anyway up there? Alright, I'll deal with you first. Okay, I didn't do a very good job there. So I'll have to deal with you next. Ha! That didn't interrupt! What a concept! Well, I think all I have to do is deal with a few more of these worms and I will be done here. Ooh. Maybe that's more than a couple more worms. I didn't mean to play threesomes or anything like that, so well, we'll just have to deal with it. Okay, we dealt with you. Oh, that's a nasty one. Well then, just 2 more worms. I hope that this is the right wayfinder.
Did you? Oh, you found it! Thank you, thank you, thank you!
Oh, I need to get this back to the safe box right away. Oh, thank you! You're welcome. Well, that's taken care of. Now let's deliver our news here with relating to, first of all, scales in Ost Amandil.
You've done Dol Amroth a great service this day. Thank you for doing what you could to help make the roads to Dol Amroth safer.
You're welcome. And also took care of those, whatever they were.
Thank you
Rats.
for taking care of our vermin problem.
I know it's not a pleasant task, but they often carry disease and can be a great risk to our citizens. And finally, the drakes.
You battled against drakes. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, given the stories I've heard of you.
Still, I am impressed. I have begun hearing reports of their presence, but have yet to determine how to handle them. Well, thank you for making my life that much easier. Haha. Alright. Well then, that takes care of that. Now, that means then that our next task is going to be to head on back to Lavadon. Here we are, back in Calambel. Now I'm not too sure what gets us credit for traveling through here. And the quest arrow points that way. So let's see what happens. Maybe I need to speak with someone. Or go through the center of town, or something like that. Calambel seems to have achieved a measure of peace after the war. Alright, well that's good to hear. Now, let's go to Lothgobel, and the last time I was there, it was in the hands of Jajax. Actually, it's not time for me to head to Lothgobel yet, because I completely forgot about the orcs that are to the west of Kalimlad, because here they still are, and I thought I'm gonna do them when I pass this way by again. So now that I'm passing by that way again, it is time for me to deal with said orcs. Oh yes, I can tell they're orcs alright, because my spear is shining bright just from the reek of them. Okay, I'm not too sure what causes a spear to glow in the sight of orcs. What does it sense? First of all, how does the spear sense things in the first place? And second of all, I mean, okay, I guess if you stick a spear in something, you should be able to sense what it's spearing at the time. But how does a spear orcs being in the area. It just has some way of knowing. Does it have somehow an uncanny sight? Is it smell? I mean, if it were taste, I would have to stab the orc first. So it's obviously not that. Hey. Hearing? Well, no, because then you would think that I would hear the orcs around unless it was some sort of subsonic or ultrasonic way to it, and there would have to be something very distinctive of how they sound in that range in order for it to be registered by the sword. But a vibration sense is the first thing that I could think of, and that's what sound is. I mean, visual, well, I suppose we do have metal reflectivity and things like that. Maybe you could sense silence, but then we would see them first. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Well, I think we have... Oh, that's right, these also count as enemies within King's Gondor, so... that sort of was double duty on the quest side. I hope I didn't take too long in dealing with those orcs.
You return with good news, I hope. Excellent.
Yeah.
You have our thanks.
You're welcome. So that takes care of the stragglers in the foothills, and now I can head over to Lothgabel, where you'll see me in the next episode of The Song of Waves and Wind.